Tonight on 2020, made a resolution not to pull a honey boo-boo? Then this show's for you.
Whoa. That tells the story right there.
How they got to half their size.
I lost 137 pounds and I'm half my size.
And how you can get from before
Who is this guy?
Guy with a lot of pain.
to after. To the biggest trick of all, keeping it off.
I lost 60 pounds.
And what happened after that?
I gained 70.
Sound familiar? Tonight, everything you need to keep the numbers moving in the right direction. Like exposing accused diet scammers. We track them down.
Why did you want to fake people out like that?
And real-life advice from a biggest loser who stayed a big loser.
Put them in a garbage can and pour liquid Tide on them.
Losing it forever. Plus, forget fitting in jeans. Try fitting in the bathtub. She was the most famous fat person on TV.
What the helicopter is going on here?
Truth or consequences? And from Bethany Frankel to Kathy Griffin. What's the pressure working for a skinny girl when you're her plus-size assistant?
If you think she's gained 5 pounds, you tell her.
I fire her.
Who's the boss now? Tonight, how to get from desperation to inspiration. Half their size. Here's Elizabeth Vargas.
Good evening and good new year as we partner with People magazine to bring you some astounding weight loss stories. It is the #1 resolution most people make come January 1st to shed those extra pounds. Gym memberships shoot up 30% and quick fixes made the headlines this week, like how you can get fit with just a 30-second sprint a few times a week. But what really works besides surgery if you need to lose something as extreme as half your size? Deborah Roberts has the story.
It's a high-profile photo shoot.
Nice there, beautiful.
Love it.
With lighting.
It looks amazing.
Makeup.
This is like more makeup I've ever worn in my life.
Hair.
Let's really make the hair as beautiful as we want.
Yes.
Right?
But these models aren't just showing off clothes. They're revealing their new bodies for People magazine's annual Half Their Size issue. And just last year, there was a whole lot more of each of them.
I lost 137 pounds and
I've lost 125 pounds.
I lost 242 pounds.
504 pounds among them.
One common thread among all of our half their size candidates is that they found the right moment for themselves to make those changes.
But behind these 3 smiles, 3 emotional journeys. Journeys that began back when they looked like this.
I hated who I saw in the mirror.
I feel like I'd pretty much given up on myself.
Getting bullied, picked on, and not feel like a human
Whoa.
now.
That tells the story right there. Can you believe that you fit into these?
I can't. And I was actually squeezing in these.
So I look at you now, this fit guy, and then I look at this photo. Who is this guy?
Guy with a lot of pain. A lot of pain. A lot of demons and don't even know who he is. I lost him.
Well, can you give me a smile? Just a half a smile?
Hey, Richard. I grew up overweight my whole life. I would eat away a lot of my pain at night. I would just binge eat and binge eat and binge eat, and I couldn't stop. Of course, every morning I would have a pound of bacon, 4 to 6 biscuits, a dozen of eggs.
So this was breakfast.
That was breakfast. Before we leave, we'd actually have a snack, and I would get 4 double cheeseburgers.
This was a snack?
This was a snack.
That's nearly 7,000 calories before lunch. By 25, Richard's weight had ballooned to 426 pounds, morbidly obese. His home scale couldn't even register his weight. Even the simplest tasks were a challenge.
I couldn't even bend over and clip my toenails.
Most concerning, 2 years of failed attempts to start a family with his wife.
There's 2 things that the doctor told me. That I would not live to see 30 and that I would never be able to have kids if I didn't choose to change my life. While I was in the doctor's office, I went ahead and planned my suicide.
You were going to take your life? Really?
I didn't want to live anymore because I was tired of being in pain. The only thing, I didn't want my wife to walk in and see me that way. That's the only thing that stopped me.
A terrifying moment of truth. Richard knew he now had to take charge of his health. A friend lent him an exercise DVD, P90X. Reluctantly, Richard gave it a try. Every day he'd sweat his way through an intense 60-minute program. Suddenly motivated, he began cutting back on his huge portions. And as the weight melted off, Richard's resolve hardened.
I would put my whole life on Facebook, and so that way I'm holding myself accountable to the world.
18 months later, Richard was half his size.
There it is, 184.8.
The best reward? The birth of his son, Brady.
I remember holding him in my arms.
That was a miracle, really, that it happened.
It was a miracle.
So you're active like this every day?
Yes. This is normal for me.
Wow.
Amazing from a man who once thought exercise was a four-letter word. Richard's committed to inspiring others. Coaching fit clubs.
Here we go.
Supporting those determined to follow in his footsteps.
I just want to say each one of y'all have a very special place in my heart. I do want to say that.
Like Richard, Ashley Donahue's body was also once breaking down.
I had major depression, liver disease, high blood pressure, chronic migraines. My doctor told me he didn't think I was going to make it to 30.
A 27-year-old mom of two, her journey to health began literally with a single step.
My husband, he saw how unhappy I was, and he came to me and said, "We're going to go for a walk." And I was like, "No, we're not."
But her husband wouldn't take no for an answer.
My back was killing me. My feet were killing me. I just started like crying in the middle of the street. By the time I got home, my tears were dried, and I had a resolve to change.
Those walks eventually turned into runs, and Ashley started using an online food journal, discovering lower fat, lower calorie options.
Every time I made one change, I'd get used to it, and then I'd make another.
Small things started to add up.
Within 20 months, she dropped 137 pounds, and all those health issues gone.
What's the sweetest part, pardon the expression, about losing this kind of weight?
My eldest gives me a hug, and he goes, "Mommy, I can reach my hands all the way around you." And I was just like, tears, you know, immediately. Ding dong, ding dong.
Leah Fernandez also started making changes with her husband TJ's help. Like Ashley and so many others, she packed on the pounds after motherhood.
I tended to be an emotional eater.
What changed?
My husband and I were at lunch one afternoon, and he looked me straight in the eyes and he said, "Listen," he said, "I love you for who you are." He said, "But you are not happy with you."
Leah decided to follow family members who'd had success using Jenny Craig, focusing on portion control.
I haven't looked back ever since that day. The fire was lit inside, and it's still going.
And she discovered a passion for running. This past May, she ran a 5K with her husband, TJ.
Well, as soon as I slowed down, he was like, "No, you get to that finish line." Like, he wanted that so bad for me.
But that high would be followed by an unimaginable low. The next morning, tragedy. Her husband, Harak, was killed in a motorcycle accident.
He was sharing this crowning moment with you. And then to lose him like that.
Yeah. I mean, people ask me, how do you continue?
How do you?
That race moment is a big one for me because I know that my husband would want nothing more for me than to continue to finish this.
Some people would have reverted back to eating. How do you resist that?
No amount of food or any kind of food is worth it to me to go back to where I was.
Richard is just as determined, though he admits it's a constant battle.
Every day, I fight and fight.
You're still struggling against this food addiction.
I still fight it every day, yes, ma'am.
Are you where you want to be?
I am. Of course, you know, I do have excess skin. That is going to be a reminder to me every single day of a life that I'm not going back to.
Battle scars.
Yes, battle scars.
And of course, there's that other reminder on newsstands now. Big success stories that could offer a little motivation to anyone with a New Year's resolution.
Next, from the Joe Bro to Kathy Griffin.
I'm a bikini model, Nick. I don't know what you call your job. My assistant
What
is here.
if you work with a rail thin star, but cast a big shadow yourself?
You've lost almost Kathy's entire body weight.
I lost an Olsen twin.
Think sushi? Think again. A Philadelphia roll with salmon, cream cheese, and spicy mayo is the same as eating a Big Mac.
We've all seen the commercials and the tabloids about how the stars lose weight or how they need to. But what about the people who work with them? Nick Watt has the skinny.
Kathy Griffin is 54 years of age and loves nothing more than a skimpy two-piece.
I'm a bikini model, Nick. I don't know what you call your job, but I'm a professional bikini model who does some comedy on the side.
No, I mean, the pictures look great.
Whether stalking the stage at the GLAAD Awards or poolside with Paris on her reality show, My Life on the D-List.
We're here, bitches!
Kathy leaves little to the imagination. Now meet Tiffany, Kathy's long-suffering assistant.
Kathy Griffin's office.
You've never worn a bikini?
Mm-mm. I've been heavy my whole life.
Miss Bosworth,
This is a Hollywood story starring painfully skinny celebrities
I have to be thin because I'm on TV.
and their slightly heavier sidekicks, inspired by the boss to shape up.
That's motivation right there, seeing her in her cute bathing suits.
But if you think she's gained 5 pounds, do you tell her?
I fire her.
This is Tiffany before and after.
You've lost almost Kathy's entire body weight.
I lost an Olsen twin, I like to say. They're about 80 pounds, right?
She's being modest. Tiffany dropped nearly 90 pounds once more before, after. And the boss puts Tiffany's marvelous metamorphosis down to healthy eating, exercise.
She'd kick your ass, Nick.
And the power of television.
She's on the Kathy show every week. Tiffany, my assistant, is here. And let me tell you, when they do the camera shot of her in the front row in an adorable dress, that's maybe a little bit more of a motivator than she wants to admit.
Admit it. Is it?
It is. I mean, seeing myself, well, when I started working for her, along came a reality show.
Take your pants off and just wait for her in the dressing room.
I didn't think anything of it. And then once the show started airing and I started watching it, and I'm like, wow, I'm fat. And I need to do something about it.
Tiffany lost it slow and gradual, becoming a storyline on Griffin's reality show and her talk show.
But I think you can have anything as long as the portions.
I think that's the problem with this country.
Yeah, portion sizes
too
are crazy.
Here we
It's too
go.
generous.
Here we go. Did you actually start your question with, I think that's the problem with this country?
Yeah.
How soon can you get on the plane to Tulsa?
John Lloyd Taylor also knows the life of the chubby celebrity sidekick. For the last 7 years, he's played guitar for those hunky young chaps, the Jonas Brothers. That's him performing with the band on Good Morning America. At his peak, John tipped the scales at a whopping 360 pounds.
We made a 3D movie at one point in the Jonas Brothers' career. It's 3D, and I'm this huge 3D guy, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm gonna look like a monster in this movie. I'm gonna be scary. Kids are gonna cry in the movie theater when they see me.
John just lost nearly half his body weight with the help and inspiration of his buff buddy, Joe Jonas.
And if he's like, this guy could have any girl he wants, it's like, maybe I should think about losing 150 pounds.
A bona fide food addict, John fell foul of life on the road.
The touring industry is set up for you to just balloon. You're also eating, you know, a whole pizza when you get onto the bus.
And then there's room service.
Mulling over myself with the phone in my hand, maybe even looking in the mirror in the bathroom, being like, don't order the food. And then, sure enough, ordering cheeseburger and fries and throwing in something else extra, like chicken wings, and then being like, should I call back and cancel my order? And this insanity plays out for 30 minutes.
These guys are, you know, heartthrobs. Does that make it sort of harder for you the fat guy standing in the background thinking,
Yeah, for sure. I'm backing up this enormous group that's everywhere at the time, and I'm this huge entity in the back.
Joe gently encouraged John to work out, eat right, and just get healthy.
a vegetable platter is not very rock and roll.
No, not so rock and roll. Not at all. But feeling good and looking good on stage is.
And there's a new pre-gig ritual.
Joe's always doing push-ups and encouraging everybody else to do it too.
You and Joe doing push-ups
before you go on stage.
John was so ripped he was about to run a marathon. Then he broke his foot. But there's even bigger news.
You're getting married?
I'm getting married. I saw her in the corner of the room and I walked right up to her and introduced myself.
And you would never have done that?
No way. My friends would have been like, why don't you go talk to her? I'd be like, nah, it's cool. I'm going to go eat this birthday cake. It never would have happened.
It's a similar tale for Nick Fighter, who once tried and failed to land the gig of Bethany Frankel's assistant on her reality show, Bethany Getting Married.
Napoleon Dynamite walks in here, and I'm just thinking, has this man ever met a brush?
But he ended up working for her anyway, and it changed his life.
You've had like a man-formation.
A man-formation?
Yes.
Yeah, I've had one of those.
He lost his unibrow.
You're not gonna cry, are you?
I'm not gonna cry.
Got into yoga.
I was scared that he was gonna have a heart attack.
And wound up dropping 65 pounds at the svelte feet of Miss Frankel.
I am more successful, generally speaking, with women.
Yeah, you've got a little game.
Now back to Tiffany, who has moved out from the Griffin shadow and is dating.
It's not easy, and we're around fabulous gays all the time, but straight guys are hard to find, good ones.
And I imagine that a sort of younger straight guy, when he finds out you work for Kathy, kind of gets a bit freaked out and might bolt.
Whoa. How did this interview turn into women's health into I'm a nightmare, Nick? Nick.
I can't help but think I'd like Kathy more if she wasn't so damn hungry.
If I ate more, I would be less funny, but happier. But I don't really care about being happy. I just want to be funny. That's our motto at Team Griffin. Be mean and thin.
Next, a gorgeous woman. A miracle weight loss promise. Just one problem. None of it's true. Catching the guys who made big bucks every time you clicked.
You knew that everything on this page was a farce.
I wouldn't say everything.
Scam.com. Coming up. Drink 6 cups of cold water a day. You'll lose an extra 5 pounds a year.
If your search to drop a few pounds takes you to the internet, be careful where you click. Jim Avila went on the search for diet scammers.
It is a beautiful scam. Fraud with a French twist.
Hello, my name is Melissa Thuriot.
Melissa's so beautiful, it's almost criminal. But that's as close as she comes to breaking the law. Without her knowledge, she's become the face of a massive swindle, defrauding desperate dieters of millions of dollars.
It's just false advertising.
The trouble begins when you click one of the trillions of internet ads for weight loss products. You're hustled off to a land of make-believe. Websites that look like real news organizations. News 8, Channel 9 News Report, Breaking News at 6. The sites feature photos of their trustworthy anchors, the well-known logos of the biggest names in news, and that captivating investigative report.
I mean, she's an attractive woman.
She spins a story about the hottest diet fad of the moment, South America's acai berry diet. Amazingly, she finds success with it, losing 25 pounds in 4 weeks, and reveals her findings to the world. It catches the attention of millions of consumers looking for similar results. But it also catches the eye of the Federal Trade Commission.
The bottom line is nothing about the website or the representation made on there were true.
That's right. These news anchors, fake. The news logos, stolen from legitimate media outlets. And worst of all, when the pills do arrive in the mail, the FTC says you'll find out the claim that the acai berry is a miracle weight loss drug is false too. You investigated whether or not acai berry makes you lose dramatic amounts of weight. You had a doctor crunch some numbers.
He said that wasn't going to happen. I mean, this product has no meaningful effect for weight loss purposes.
The websites were simply a slick come-on for online marketers looking to fatten their wallets, selling you a pipe dream. 20-year-old Tanner Vaughn should know. He did it for a living. What's an online marketer? What do you do?
I explain it to most people as a virtual salesman.
That means Vaughn will sell virtually anything for virtually anybody for a fee. At one time, Vaughn would sell virtually any product for virtually anyone. To get paid, all Vaughn had to do was steer customers to a merchant, marketing their products by any means necessary. A lot of times when you work at a company, they give you a list of rules. Don't break these rules.
Yeah.
Did you get a book of rules?
No.
Here's how it works. With no rule book to guide them, marketers like Vaughn can simply sit at his computer, build a bogus news site, add a compelling, albeit fabricated news story about a dramatic weight loss, and put it out on the internet. He's essentially trolling for desperate dieters. And when they bite and buy a product, Vaughn gets paid.
These guys were clearly engaged in fraud.
But before the government can stop it, the wildly successful ad takes on a life of its own, popping up all over the internet as rogue marketers cash in on the face that seems to connect with consumers. She must be really skinny because there were a lot of websites she lost 25 pounds
Yeah,
on.
it's pretty amazing, isn't it?
If she's not a reporter who lost 25 pounds over and over again, who is she? To track down the mystery woman, we traveled all the way to Paris.
It's not true.
Do you recognize the woman?
Yes, I recognize her. It's me when I was young.
The one truth about Melissa Theriault is that she actually happens to be a real journalist, a sensation on French television, who assures us she has absolutely nothing to do with any diet pills. The scammers loved her picture, so they took it and pasted it all over their websites. They didn't ask your permission.
Never.
And they didn't give you any money for it.
No, nothing.
And did you work for Consumer Reports?
No.
Did you work for News 6?
No.
Remember, nobody works at any of these pseudo-news websites. There's no buildings, no staff, no cameras or reporters, making overhead low and profits high. How lucrative can it be?
It can be very lucrative if done right.
For example, for some of the cases we filed, $2 or $3 million made over a relatively short period of time was not unusual.
Vaughn says he was young when he started this kind of marketing. Just 16 years old, scamming away in mom's house, never intending to hurt anyone.
It wasn't my intention to come off and scam people or anything like that.
What do you mean it wasn't your intention to scam everybody?
It wasn't.
There's
my
nothing
intention.
on this page that is true. This woman didn't lose her belly using One Easy Tip. Those two people are fake at the top. She's fake. There's nothing real on this.
And obviously, I mean, I've
You did scam people.
I mean, it was a situation that I got caught up in. I did wrong. I've admitted that.
Vaughn says he made good money, but his earnings were nothing compared to another baby-faced businessman in this line of work. The mailbox of New Jersey marketer Andrew Davidson began filling with fat commissions. His websites, including News 6 and Consumer News Reporter, helped generate nearly $11 million in sales, according to the government. He, too, capitalizing on that famous face from France. As a phony media mogul, Davidson should have known sooner or later a genuine news organization would come calling. But when we visit him at his home just outside Atlantic City, things got a little too real. Is Andrew here?
Yes.
Okay, I'm a real reporter. I wanted to ask you about the fake reporters you had on the fake websites and why you had to use those guys.
Yeah, I don't have any comment on this.
You don't want to talk to us about that at all?
No.
Why did you want to fake people out like that? The government had better luck getting Davidson to open up. The Federal Trade Commission sued him. Are they surprised when you go to them and say, this is wrong, this is against the law?
I can tell you their parents are surprised. It's not unusual to have us actually have a situation where the defendant is still living in their parents' home.
Davidson settled his case without admitting wrongdoing, agreeing to hand over nearly $2 million in assets. The government is taking his house and his car. But don't feel too sorry. We found him cruising around in a brand new replacement. The government also sued Tanner Vaughn. He paid nearly $80,000 to settle, also without admitting any wrongdoing, and says he's changed his ways. What would you say to the people who wasted their money on this product?
I would apologize to him. I would definitely say sorry for it.
The FTC says it will attempt to return whatever money they recover to consumers who got suckered by sites with fake news reports and lost cash instead of weight.
What bothers me is knowing that this brand exploits women and men who are suffering.
But with those huge profits at stake, the exploitation continues even today. For every website the government whacks, a new one pops up in its place. And so at this very moment, that last woman in the world who needs to lose weight is shedding yet another 25 pounds, and a scammer's bank account is getting fatter.
Next, she was famous for being fat.
There's no way that seatbelt's gonna fit. Are you crazy?
And she got what so many want. Her own reality show to help her lose weight. But wait till you hear how she lied to viewers and producers along the way.
I could figure out a way to lean to this way or that way. I can make 28 to 30 pound difference.
Do 10 minutes of physical activity a day. You'll add 2 years to your life.
Overweight people in reality television, especially makeover shows, they go hand in hand at times, with losing weight as the goal. But what if you lost half your size and you still weighed 350 pounds? Here's Amy Robach.
Ever dream of landing a reality show to make your weight loss dreams come true?
You keep letting go, Tony.
Surely having the resources handed to you would do the trick. Well, meet Ruby Gettinger. For her, this dream became a reality, literally. For 4 seasons, hundreds of thousands of viewers tuned into her show each week as she went from this to this. Ruby wasn't just plus-sized, she was morbidly obese.
It's not a childhood dream that I dream, oh, let me be the biggest woman in the world.
For her, shedding the pounds was not just to fit into a pair of jeans.
I do not know how girls do it.
It was about riding a bike, swimming, driving a car.
There's no way that seatbelt's gonna fit. Are you crazy?
Even fitting into a bathtub was a struggle.
When I get down low enough to get in the bubble bath, I'm gonna be the happiest girl in the whole USA.
But her accomplishments did not stop at the scale as she was launched into superstardom.
Please welcome Ruby to the show.
Regis and Kelly, Dr. Oz, and even Oprah all came calling.
So how are you losing the weight? What are you doing?
Making Ruby the face of obesity.
How excited were you to get started?
When it first started, I was really scared. And I'm sitting there going, how will they ever understand what this is about? Never knowing the impact it was going to have. But what are all these?
With the show came counselors, a nutrition plan, trainers.
Time to work out, all right?
Many trainers, all working toward one number, 250 pounds. But secretly, off camera, her goal was dramatically different.
I will be honest with you, and I've never ever said this, that my goal was 128. I wanted to be so thin that someone would look at me and say, are you anorexic?
But after season 1, she was 373, almost 130 pounds less than where she began. With season 2 underway, she hit a new low, 357. At the start of season 3, Ruby was arguably one of the most documented stories of obesity in America, fighting the fat and winning.
I could not believe that here I am, was at 328. I can't imagine that life because I don't know that. I don't even know what that feels like because I've never been under 300.
While the show brought on a celebrity high, the pressure to keep losing was bringing her down.
347.6. I like this scale.
We started seeing some changes in Ruby, definitely in the 4th season. A lot more emotional stuff was coming out. She didn't know how to deal with it.
I didn't realize this was such an addiction.
Tenny McCarty, a counselor on the show and author of Shades of Hope, knows all too well.
It's not what we're eating, but what's eating us.
Compare food addiction to other addictions we all know about.
Alcoholism, drug addiction, nicotine addiction. You could live the rest of your life and never have to use that substance again.
Food is everywhere and you have to eat.
Absolutely.
Ruby was spiraling out of control.
I feel like it became about a number. I literally did not eat for 4 days because I knew I had to weigh. And then after I weigh, I would binge eat.
And those tools she was given to make working out convenient?
When I was such in a bad place, I did not use them at all. I literally would get a washcloth and dust them off because if somebody came over, I didn't want them to think, she's not using her equipment.
But the numbers wouldn't lie, so Ruby found a way to deceive the show and the scale.
I could figure out a way to lean. I could make a 28 to 30 pound difference.
A 30-pound difference?
But what was crazy is that the number on the scale, guess who believed it?
You.
That's the sickness, is that I'm almost getting excited later on the day because people are bragging about the number. That I have convinced myself that that is the number too.
Quickly, they were on to her tricks and tried everything they could to keep her motivated.
The network would propose certain things, like they sent her to a weight loss camp for a couple of weeks.
In the end, show producers lost patience with Ruby's weight gain. Ruby was canceled, leaving fans wondering what happened.
What did they say to you?
Nothing. They said, we love you. You know, we're just not going to continue the show.
What do you think is the reason?
My personal belief is because I gained weight.
Do you blame yourself for the show ending?
Yes, because I feel like it's a lot. You've let so many people down.
Shortly after the show was canceled, Ruby lost her brother, giving her more reasons to eat.
I didn't want to come out of this room at all. I ate everything in that bed, you know, that was like, I literally lived in the bed.
Her weight continued to climb. She gained 50 pounds, now back up to almost 400.
I woke up with like, this is it, I'm doing this. I've got to finish this for me.
Desperate to lose the weight and with no money, she turned to her former trainers for help.
So to Shazia said, I'm really serious this time. I can't afford to pay you. If you don't, I can understand I haven't been consistent.
I said, of course, you know, I'm here for you no matter what.
Now back in the gym regularly, no cameras, no show. She is eating right. With the help of her 90-day challenge, she has worked her way back down to 360 pounds. Today, she won't share a goal weight in fear of giving the numbers power. Through this journey, she discovered something real about reality.
Did you want the easy fix, though? It's hard.
If you do the easy fix, it's going to, look what it did. It explodes in your face. The hard road is the best road. Just in the past 2 months, I have never worked out as hard as I've worked out, been so strict, been so consistent.
Hard work that might finally get her under 300 pounds.
Next, losing it? Not so hard, but keeping it off.
There are certain foods that if they have them, it's like crack cocaine for them.
Leave off the sugar and fat? Your brain will think you're having a drug withdrawal.
Congratulations, you're losing weight, but keeping it off is where the battle of the bulge really begins. Here's Chris Connolly on how to win that fight.
Congratulations. One of those quick, just stop eating that diets has helped you lose tons of weight. Well, guess what? Experts estimate a belt-busting 95% of dieters will eventually regain those lost pounds.
Come on, let's go, let's push.
So if staying trim for keeps is your goal, Pete Thomas is your guy. He's maintained his own weight loss for 8 years now. The author of Lose It Fast, Lose It Forever is a sleek 238 today. He used to be more than 400 pounds when he first tipped the scales on The Biggest Loser. Dropping 185 pounds made him a winner.
Pick it up, Pete.
Still, he remembers the agony of failure while on the show when he found chocolates in a laundry room.
These things had me.
The only way that we could get those out of the way, or out of the house, was to put them in a garbage can and to pour liquid Tide on them.
Just because having them in the garbage can wasn't bad enough.
That's the thing.
You would have been willing to go into the garbage can to eat them.
I did. I did.
And this is on a weight loss show.
On a weight loss show.
Proven phenomenon, trigger foods do exist. Whenever we commit to something.
Chris Powell is the trainer on Extreme Makeover Weight Loss Edition.
Especially the folks I work with, there are certain foods that if they have them, it's like crack cocaine for them. I found this in your trash can.
Can you not have a bag of cookies even in your home?
It's best to keep that kind of food outside of the house.
A can of Pringles in my house won't last 20 minutes. Another thing.
You, the ultimate success story.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't have a can of Pringles in your home.
No, I can't. Well, I can, but then I would be gaining it back and I wouldn't be here talking to you.
Go. 1, 2.
Even with workouts like these, what makes maintaining weight loss so hard? Science says even 12 months after slimming down, parts of your body want you to get fat again, according to Dr. David Katz, director of the Yale University Prevention Research Center.
Fat cells do not like being starved, and they make a fuss about it. And so the way they complain about being starved is they stop sending your brain the signal that we've had enough food. So we wind up being hungry.
This is a great filler.
For Pete, tricking those fat cells into thinking they are getting enough food requires an approach he calls fluid, filler, feast.
All right, so I'd have a diet pop. That would be my fluid. My filler would be the soup and the green beans.
And why do you call that filler?
Because it literally is filling up the stomach. And so the key is we want lower calorie filler. And then my feast is going to be the thing that I actually want.
You know, if you eat a lot of wholesome foods, they have fewer calories, but they also have larger volume. They tend to keep us full.
This is how I used to eat, how I eat now.
For his meals, Pete maps out a strategy where he still eats plenty of familiar food, with the bad stuff swapped out.
I'd have 9 slices of bacon and 4 eggs and 16 ounces of orange juice. What I eat now? I eat now 9 slices of turkey bacon, 4 servings of egg beaters, and 16 ounces of Crystal Light. So the caloric content has gone from over 1,000 calories to somewhere around 300.
One tip for healthy eating that you haven't pointed out is have a near naked picture of yourself at 400 pounds within view of the kitchen. Does that help?
At all times. At all times.
What happens when you have a bad night?
Yeah, I had a few of those. And what I teach is a bad night and a bad day does not equal a bad week. And so you simply have to catch yourself and get back on track.
All right, come on, Christy, slow and easy.
It's not all the time when you can see not 1, but 2 Miss South Carolinas
Keep it tight.
working out side by side.
You got this, Christy. 3, push it up.
Helping to train 1994 winner Christy Green Lee, who's already lost 14 pounds since getting started, is 2011 Miss South Carolina Bree Boyce. Like millions of Americans, and such celebrities as Kirstie Alley, Janet Jackson, and Carney Wilson, Bree spent years as a yo-yo dieter.
The soup diet, the carb diet. Yes, I have tried every single diet that you could think of.
How much weight did you lose when you went on the Atkins diet?
I lost 60 pounds.
And what happened after that?
I gained 70.
She weighed 234 pounds in high school, where she'd get teased and feel ashamed. Her date canceled on her the night before the prom.
You feel like such a failure. I was in a really dark place at a young age. It was just really tough for me, being so young and missing out on those things in life.
4 years ago, Bree lost more than 100 pounds and has kept it off by getting educated about exercise and nutrition.
Scrambled egg whites, oatmeal, half a grapefruit.
And not just dieting.
You're setting yourself up for failure if you say, oh, well, I'm on a diet, I can't eat that. Because then you're restricting yourself. You're going to end up binging and gaining weight back.
Instead, Bree regained her self-esteem after winning the Miss South Carolina pageant.
Miss South Carolina.
She was one of 12 semi-finalists at last year's Miss America. But Bree says now that she overdid it, that the super skinny form she sported in the fitness competition didn't suit her.
It's not all about just being skinny, because I've been there and I've done that and I wasn't healthy. The thing that matters the most is that you believe in yourself, you love yourself, and that you're taking care of your body.
Awesome. Now at 134 pounds, Bree keeps her old size 18 jeans around as motivation to maintain her new healthy self.
Push, push! Instead of saying that you need to lose weight, what you should be saying is, I will achieve a healthy weight and maintain it for the rest of my life. Who's strong? What are we? We're strong! Round of applause.
For more on tonight's stories and information on how to kickstart your New Year's diet, go to abcnews.com and pick up People Magazine's special Half Their Size issue. And stay tuned for Nightline after your local news. I'm Elizabeth Vargas. For all of us at ABC News and 2020, good night and good luck.